there she is. She needs a real man. Why don't you walk up there, Laura? Sorry. And why are we here instead of there? I was afraid you might ask that. What do you think we should do? Why are you asking me? I am but a humble student of the geometric arts. I have little understanding when it comes to matters of the heart. And what, pray tell, are you doing here? Aye, with that. Did you make that manually, or is there a program, Valvadrix? Greetings and salutations, my dearest Levava, Lebuba, whatever your damn name is. Aren't you looking the most resplendent this fine morning? That's funny. Resplendent? Spent a few bells in the books, have we? Time will tell if this new vocabulary suits you, but it is not a luxury I am afforded at this moment. The city's din is positively deafening. It stifles my thoughts and upsets my humors. But it requires clarity. Something unobtainable within these stone walls. The quiet of Camp Dragonhead, however, may provide me with a moment's respite. Oh, and you may cease with your ridiculous talk of matters of the hearts. Love is the furthest of my worries. I, for one, am already promised to another. Already. Yeah, she's sworn away, dude. Come on, I'll buy you a beer. Come on, let's go. Come on, buddy. There's no need to kneel in my presence. Did I miss anything? I see. Comes as little surprise that one of her social standing should be betrothed at such a young age. Such is the custom amongst older houses, even in a city as progressive as Charlaine, and she hails from one of the oldest. I suppose it's just that... Oh, whither the vim and vigor from our conversation earlier. And all this upon learning Levava is to be married. A more astute observant might presume a certain emotional attachment to our young protégé. But that would be ludicrous. I, for one, know that good Kyoko's feelings towards Levava are not but of those of admiration for her skill at the astromantic arts. So let us return to the task at hand. We still do not know what is weighing down the lady's fragile heart. And what better way to find out than to ask? A novel idea, don't you think? Asking someone what is troubling them rather than assuming, without having actually spoken to them or even seen them for some time, that they're simply longing for amorous relations. Wonderful. He and I shall return to the Athenaeum, where I shall make certain he refrains from idle meddlement in any other lives. No, we're stuck with this outfit forever. And frankly, I think it would take too long, and I don't even have a good outfit to change it to, so, you know. Although, actually, that's an interesting point. I'll probably be healing the Eden raids, won't I? One of these days, I will get that actual gear that I want to transmog onto those. But not anytime soon. Let's see. I have nothing good on me at all. you keep coming from Hazardous. Every time you come in here, it's weird. There. Oh, and I should probably get the head, too. What have I got? Oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. It's acceptable. It's weird. It's not even visible. And we'll do that. Oh yeah, I should probably fix my mount too. Once again, this is probably what I'm doing the Eden raids as. As persistent as always, fine. You've seen through my ruse. I am not, in fact, promised to another. I simply implied as much to silence Kyo. How do you say his damn name? Alright, there was a time I was promised to another. We have a grandfather to thank for that. However, I am now officially deceased. My assumption is the arrangement has been annulled. Not that I ever bothered to actually confirm this assumption. What is troubling me? It was not my intention to evolve you, or Janiko, or even Kyoko. However, the discord my silence has sown perhaps warrants an explanation. Despite repeated efforts following our recent achievements in Kugane, I have been unable to conceive feasible means of blending the teachings of Charlean astrology with those of Far Eastern geomancy. As Kyoko explained, unlike astrologians who look to the stars above to read their fates, geomancers look to the star below and listen to its songs, and draw answers from its whispers. Yet try as I might, I remain impotent in tapping the land's puissance. I've spent my life attuning to the slightest variations in the ether of the distant stars, so much that when I look at Heidelin and her ether, I'm overwhelmed by its potency, its glow, you could say. Think of it as trying to open one of heaven's gates in a world of everlasting daylight. Yeah, about that whole everlasting daylight thing. You have visited such a place, then my readings were accurate. Exactly where have your adventures taken you? Well... see... about that. You had no trouble channeling the ether from that world to heaven, despite the fact that you never once physically laid eyes upon them. Intriguing. But I'm a woman of reason and require more than the word of another, no matter how close, to convince me of a phenomenon. A first-hand demonstration, however, might suffice. A single aspected benefit, perhaps? But only under the influence of the Diurnal sect. Right, okay. Your faculty for ethereal conversing with celestial bodies both far and near is peerless, a most eloquent display, and one I shall endeavor to learn from. I have committed the most grievous of sins by allowing things such as light, distance, and dimension, things that hold no dominion over the realm of the ethereal, to prevent me from unbinding my full potential. You, however, helped me realize the error in my ways. I believe I may now continue my studies. Ignore the giant battle with the dragons down below. Just not here. I'm unsure why I thought this would be a suitable location to ponder the predicament in the first place. Perhaps there's memories of our first lesson here. Anyway, it was definitely the snowball. Come, lest we catch cold. Yeah, I'm in more danger of that now. Thanks, Valvatrix. I see how it is. She just wants me to be sick. I don't blame her. Yeah, that's true, Adectus. Guys, we're officially playing Skyrim. Full circle. Foremost, I believe I owe both of you an apology. Or at least I owe you one, Janikard. As for you, Kyoko... Glare. How did you arrive at the ridiculous notion I was somehow languishing in the throes of love? When Laura and Janika mentioned you were not yourself after returning to Kugane, I simply assumed that... How do you dare suggest we had any hand in this, Kyoko? Were you not a quarter bell in the pillars before you were telling anyone who would listen about the ravenous maw that yawned for the heart of poor lonely Master Reuven, and how you were to fill it? Lonely? I'm far from lonely. In fact, I've already promised my heart to another. What? Of course, already promised to... Wait, what? You heard me, and I've never spoken a truer word. Could it be? That's not Laura. It's not Kyoko. No, it's her studies. You idiots. Astrology, of course. Yeah, What? What'd you expect? Quimperane? Yes. Slash laugh. Wah wah. End scene. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope, there's another scene. Sorry. You see, I've learned something today. I suppose you're wondering what brought me to Ishgard in the first place. It certainly wasn't to ruffle Master Ruffin's feathers, though it seems I have succeeded at that nonetheless. No, our triumph over Kinko having restored the people of Kugane's faith in geomancy, it was not long before a gagger of eager mages were clamoring at the door seeking guidance in the art of wind and water. To accommodate... I transformed my grandfather's study into a place where I might train those who are willing to invest the time and effort necessary to become masters. Which reminds me, my students are likely wondering where their sensei is. Farewell, Laura. So he came to us to tell of his new school? Did we not give him a link pearl? At any rate, allow me to thank you once again for the inspiration you provided. Despite being your mentor in matters astrological, I find myself consistently in your debt when it comes to, well, everything else. You're a true friend and confidant. Peace. Yeah, I still don't have my legendary weapon, though. As always, she has once again failed to acknowledge that I was I who noticed her change in mood, and my reading predicted your arrival, and my good judgment eventually pointed in her direction. Such is my destiny, I suppose. I'm simply happy she is back to her normal self. If aught were to befall her, Rufin would haunt me till the end of the 8th Umbral era. Thank you again, Laura. I would say we make a fine team, but considering you cover the Coral's share of the footwork, I shall refrain from any further analogies of a sporting nature. Okay. So that's that quest, finally. A little bit roundabout, but we made it. We made it. Okay. Come on. I suppose we'll do this as tank. Guessing it's Hail to the Queen, although apparently I have something to unlock from the Minstrel as well. No, I mean, I guess I could do a Deeps, but well... Sure. Is it a YouTube or is it an image? gallery. What's that? Nope. Oh, can't dang it, I do it again. Yeah, what's rubber toe? Yeah, so, anyways. Just unlocking some extremes. Don't mind me. That would be nice, Bamber. Or just some proper tooltip mods, because comparing equipment as is kind of a complete pain. Wouldn't mind a transmog mod while we're at it. So I take it these are the resistance weapons. We can do tank. I don't mind tank. It's tank or samurai, so we'll go with tank. My lord, what auspicious timing. I intend to send a missive to the Rising Stones, but it seems no longer necessary. Master Hancock wishes to speak with you regarding a matter of grave import. I can but imagine what other duties yet demand your attention. Still, he would request you meet him at the Ruby Bazaar at your earliest convenience. Dude, samurai tanks are awesome in Final Fantasy Tactics. And nothing else. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'm technically still in the process of doing my other two relics. One of which I've effectively given up on because it's a waste of time. And the other one I just simply haven't really had the time to do. So it's just kind of been languishing there. I'm still at the light farming step, for heaven's word. Actually, that's an interesting question. I wonder where I'm at on that. Let's see if I can just do this. Nope, wrong thing, wrong thing. It's, this thing, maybe? There you go. That's where I'm at on light farming. Not as far as I would like. And it's been a bit of a slog, but whatever. And so he returns at last. From what Tataru has told me, you've come a rather long way, to put it mildly. And while the Scions remained locked in slumber, she sought aid from all corners of the realm. In fact, it was I to whom she first turned when searching for a champion to assist her in your absence. Although, as you have no doubt surmised, I did not call you here to discuss such matters. I have received word from Lord Heinheim that the Bosian Resistance, our comrades in the Eastern Alliance, seek the aid of distinguished heroes in their fight against the Empire. Naturally, your name sprang immediately to mind. I didn't realize they were part of the Eastern Alliance. It needs all the backwards compatibility, Pillars of Snow. All of it. And last I checked, which was admittedly a while ago, it does not have it. So there you go. That's the answer to your question. Though the city-states have long since fallen to Garlean machinations, the remnants have agreed to join the cause, and with the Empire now in disarray, they would seize the opportunity to fight back. If you would know the full details in full, I think it's best you speak with Lord Hein. Lord Hein? His endless list of commitments make him a hard man to find, however, so perhaps you can have one of his attendants in the House of the Fierce track him down for you. Yeah, I know they said it, I just don't remember it. Well, yeah, they ran out of money, Esdras. So they made a cop-out. Or however you want to think of that. Greetings, good sir. Lord Hien has been expecting you. When word reaches us from the Bosian Resistance, Lord Hien knew at once there's only one man he could turn. He left to coattails not too long ago. The view of Doma Castle helps to calm his mind. This way, if you please. Yeah, I saw a meme post about that today. I don't know the legitimacy of it. The Xbox SX being being capable of playing PS2 games. I have, to be 100% honest, not actually done my research on it, which is why I'm speaking in such vagaries. I have not had time. Of course, it's didn't in the game. Being around here. Yes, I would, Valvedrix. 100%. Do you remember when we first shared a view of this castle together? Still under the Garleans' control, perhaps, yet for all their wickedness, its beauty could not be so easily sullied. You got this, Blackbow. Good to see you, my friend. You must forgive me for foregoing pleasantries, but our guest here is in dire need of your help. Marsak of the Bosian Resistance. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. As you have no doubt already heard from Lord Hien, my people seek to reclaim our homeland from the Empire. Under his auspices and that of the Eorzean Alliance, we aim to do just that. 6, Alex. However, we recently received order that the 4th Imperial Legion has been making plans of their own. It has long held the province of Nagsha, Dalmasca, and Boja in an iron grip. using its Dalmascan headquarters to house the bulk of its forces. Until recently, that is. They appear to be diverting resources and manpower to their forces stationed in Boja. In fact, 3 battalions are en route as we speak. We thought perhaps to strike before they could be fully assembled, but the Bojan resistance lacks the means to drive them off on its own. Aid from the Dalmascan resistance groups may have sufficed. Sadly, even Fran of Lente's Tears has been unable to bring an end to their infighting. All hope is not lost, however, for Lord Hien has made a most intriguing proposal. Why don't we send them Darth Vader? I mean, you. Yosetsu came up with the idea. As the Empire tightened its grip on Doma, our people were at a crossroads. Would they lay down and surrender or stand up and fight? You sought me out, that I would become the spark that lit the fire of rebellion. The same must be done for the Bojans. They require a standard under which they can rally, a symbol of hope to steel them for what is to come. Lacking a living figurehead such as Lord Hien, my comrades and I look to the nation's path for inspiration. There we found the answer we sought, Gunhilder's blades. They were the elite guards of Queen Gunhilder, possessed of weapons blessed by the gods. Their exploits would become legend after defending our people against the Alagans in the Third Astral Era. The strength of their steel was matched only by their dedication to the Queen. Should one lose their life in her service, their holy blade was passed on to a successor. That's an interesting question, Adectus. In time, their title would lend itself to the most renowned of their weaponry, the gunblade, but in truth, each member of the guard was a master of unique weapons. Though these sacred relics have been lost to time, I would see them forged anew. Armed thus, our people would know no fear, and drive back our oppressors, just as Queen Gunhilder did to the Alagans. An admittedly lofty and otherwise unattainable goal for someone such as I, which is why we have searched far and wide in search of great minds and greater heroes who might lend us their aid. We would be honored to have you at our side. Yeah, alright. Unfortunately, duty demands I remain here. I could not in good conscience leave knowing the Empire yet threatens the border to Alamigo. Should you choose to accompany him to Boja, might I ask you act as a representative of the Eastern Alliance in my stead? Yeah, I got you back. Thank you, my friend. If there is aught else you require from the Eastern Alliance, you need only ask. Safe travels to you both. An airship to our base has been prepared for us at the Enclave's dock. Sorry guys, I had a wave of fatigue just smash into my face in the middle of the lunch break. I'm still fighting it off. I do apologize. You know, how long would it take to build a wall this big? Like, there's a lot of bricks there. You know what I'm saying? Although, are they high-quality bricks? They're okay. Yes. I've seen better. Look, I'll be honest, I would rather not be human, given a choice. But that is neither here nor there. I mean, look at that thing. It's like half a mile tall. You? Oh, in the Enclave. I just... whatever. Fine. while we're here, might as well. What's going on here? Oh. Where's the rest of my donation pile? There it is. Yes. God, I wish that pop-up would show up every single time. Yes, you're welcome for your support. I'm pleased to inform you we've made great strides in our effort to rebuild the Enclave. Yay! I suppose that makes sense, Gum Gum, even though it is a phone. After all, a world without definitions wouldn't be a world at all, would it? What? That's nice. Okay. Give me a minute, guys. Hang on. I gotta go talk to somebody and hear how they're so grateful for all the money I've been dumping on their faces. Do you have to be so grateful? God dang it, I just want to build up your stupid city. Shake, 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 shake. Just take the money and... Okay, fine, we're done. Wait, they're giving me money? Those bastards! I'll kill them. I'll kill them for giving me money. Okay, in all seriousness, I didn't know I got any money out of this. I thought the whole point of donating was that instead of getting paid, you know, instead of vendoring or you know, breaking it down into crafting materials, we were donating it to this, and that was getting things funded, right? Like, that was the whole point. We are funding the restoration of Doma. So why are they paying us? Why are you paying me? Don't give me your money. I don't want your money. I'm trying to donate to you. That is just arse backwards. What the crap? That's actually irritating. Could you donate materials so that we can pay you money? No! You cannot! Take your frickin' money and shove it into the restoration of your city. Negative to Stormblood. God, Stormblood pisses me off so much. I mean, this is... I'm partially joking. That does irritate me. Yeah, I don't think that's really a donation at that point. My love for Doma is all-consuming. Right. You, Hey, Nerazes. Still messing with it a little bit. I had an idea, or rather my sister, excuse me. My sister had an idea, and I want to try it out, but that's going to involve some rebuilding, and I know how much you guys hate it when I build stuff on stream. An investor. That's even worse! Just, Hi, I'm going to give you a little bit of money. Now, I'm going to demand that you not only destroy your company, your business, and screw over your customers, but literally make the world a worse place so that I can have slightly more money now. It's literally called a donation basket! Sorry, we're done. We're done. Donate. If I right click, you know what the button says? It says donate. Just point it out. I'm never gonna get... this is like 1 week of just holding on to actually rolling greed. And I'm done for the week. Oh my god. Come on, let's get out of here. Oh god, Diesel Edge. Anyways, let's go to Boja, shall we? Or Gengos, apparently, not Boja. At this point, it wouldn't even surprise me, Casual. I mean, Hydaelyn, you know? I mean, Hydaelyn's possibly not evil. Yes, possibly. That's a word now. Yeah, by the way, I turned on the heat today. That's the first time I've done that in about a year. So, first time this season I've actually had to turn the heat on. Which is funny, because some of you may or may not be aware that I spent some time yesterday trying to make sure that my fans were working properly to keep my new computer cool. Well, it was in the low 30s earlier. Give me a second. Right now... why is this not showing me where I live? Yeah, right now it is 39 degrees out, so it's gone up a little bit. That we should play host to the Liberator of Doma and Alamigo himself. I did not think you could be persuaded to help us. Leader of the Bojan Resistance. Baj. Your name is now Baj, because you don't have voice acting. I try very hard to pronounce things correctly when it's said to me. You can go to hell, because you're not voice acted. Bloody hells, man, you won't inspire much confidence speaking like that. Is that seriously? You're quite right, Master Geralt. While you're here, won't you come and welcome our guest? Isn't that the guy who is technically currently still making my Heavensward relic weapon? Like, I still have a quest to turn into... Once I finish light farming, I turn it into him. Erozia's greatest hero and her finest blacksmith. With the two of you here, our plan is sure to succeed. Would that Queen Gunhildr were here to witness this. I mean, he's a good smith. Boy, Lord, just between us, I'm only here to pay off me debts to that black-hearted snake, Rowena. She's been selling supplies to the Resistance, and they happened to mention they were in need of a smithy, so she went and told them I'm the greatest bleeding smithy in the realm, with skills that put Bayergot himself to shame. Can't say I'm half of what she claimed. Dude, you make all the relic weapons. But I'll do me damnedest. They're happy to ply me with a good grub and even better booze, so play along, will you? Now that you're both here, I believe it's time our plans are made clear. Misha? Yes, of course, our goal is to reforge the weapons wielded by Gunhildr's blade. Simple in principle, less so in execution. The weapons themselves and most of the text denoting the history of Her Majesty and her guard were lost to the devastation of the Fourth Umbral Calamity. That said, we have managed to obtain certain pieces of info, and coupled with Master Geralt's knowledge and expertise, have made great strides in reproducing the vaunted blades of old. We've worked out the amount of weapons they wielded, their shape, their weight, the materials, but we learned bugger all about what gives them spirit. It said Queen Gunhildr etched a holy inscription onto each blade, thus granting them the power of the gods, but no records of such engraving remain, but there is still hope. Though not but pale imitations, there once existed replicas which may well have borne these inscriptions. Alas, they were lost when Boja Citadel fell. Do you know of the Boja incident? Yeah, actually, because I am a gunbreaker. And I did those quests earlier today. A little worldly adventure yourself would know this is no surprise. If I may, I would share the tale of our homeland. explain. Dalamud, blah, 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 blah. 1.0, blah, 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 blah. The Citadel and the relics of Queen Gunhilda's kingdom, naught was left but smoke and ash. Hope ain't gone yet. The Citadel's been wiped off the map, but there's still a way to find those inscriptions. Or so I've been told. An explanation better left to one more knowledgeable than I am. Well, okay. Let's do it. I don't know. The whole thing reminded me... It felt a little bit too anime for my tastes, Valvedrix, to answer your question. There was a lot of, yeah, no, this is totally how it works, in a way that just kind of makes sense in anime logic, you know? I don't know. With regards to the quest hand that I haven't finished yet. 'Tis good to see you again, Laura, though I'd hoped to accomplish more before your arrival. I'm sure your help would be invaluable now as it was on the Prima Vista. You are far too kind. If not for your heroism, Ramza and Alma would have... Yep. Calm, calm, it's okay, it's okay. They lived. And we had that interesting talk with Ultima. From the onset of the endeavor, it was abundantly clear that the one versed in etherology would be essential. We relayed this to the Alliance, who then introduced us to Mikoto. She's said to be one of those brilliant minds amongst the students of Valdecian. And yet it is my ineptitude that demands your presence here. I was all but certain that Geralt and I alone would suffice, but alas. This is some interesting build-up, isn't it? We've got the people who are the victims of 1.0, working alongside the guy who's done all the previous relic weapons, having been drifted here specifically because we are the people who unified the Resistance back in Stormblood, to interact with the woman who was part of the Evilise chain in whatever that was in. I think that was Stormblood as well. Anyways, the matter she speaks of concerns a long-forgotten practice of holy men who once inhabited these lands. Utilizing uniquely aspected crystals, these seers were able to provide succor for those with ailments of the mind. They possessed the ability to shape the very memories, removing those deemed harmful and replacing them, that the patient might find semblance of peace. Oh, I wish I could kill some of my memories. I really do. I, too, dismissed the notion that practices could exist. Yet, yes, we're not going to not be on Shadowbringers, Pika. We're never not going to be on Shadowbringers. It's all Shadowbringers, all the time. Until recently, an excavation unearthed compelling evidence of their work. The crystals, we believed, were used in their healing. Unfortunately, we were unable to discern how they are meant to be used. It was at this juncture that we petitioned for Mikoto's assistance. Alas, made any progress? My initial analysis suggested the crystals were artificially created at some point in the distant past. The materials used suggest they were most likely produced by the ancestral people of this area. What's more, their ethereal signature is strikingly similar to the oscillatory activity of brainwaves, which, when made to resonate with the distinct frequency of NNR-type harmonic vibrations of an individual's... Oh, right. No, that actually makes perfect sense. You can keep going. I think a simpler approach is in order. Each living being is comprised of corporeal ether of the flesh, incorporeal ether of the soul, and ethereal residue of the memories. Ether, ether, ether. Were one to be possessed of only corporeal ether, they would be put a walking corpse. Conversely, entities comprised of only incorporeal ether are referred to layman terms as ghosts. In either case, they also retain some of their residual memories. Zombies and ghosts. Got it. These crystals were able to isolate and resonate with the ethereal signature of memories. This allowed seers to probe the minds of patients. That's well and good, but what if their mind isn't what it used to be? Or if they were too deep in cups to remember what you're looking for? An excellent question, Master Geralt. We are all possessed of two types of memory, explicit and implicit. Ooh. As the name suggests, explicit memories refer to an active remembrance of previous experiences, while implicit are acquired and stored passively. For example, when making a new acquaintance, their appearance will become part of your explicit memory, allowing you to recall that information. Should a great deal of time pass without meeting, such recollection can prove difficult. Yet in that moment, your mind also takes record of the sounds and smells and temperature and so on. Look, I can turn into a seer, I think. Just give me a second. Thankfully, that will not be necessary. Oh, okay. When I was told of the seers and their practices, I was immediately reminded of your ability to peer in the past. Yeah. I believe these people were blessed with a similar gift, and it is for that reason they were chosen to serve as seers. Though I too am possessed of the Echo, I lack the ability to peer into the past as you do, and thus have been unable to wield the power of the crystals. That's why we called you here. Until now, I could do naught but posit theories. With your help, however, I may be able to put them to the proof. And you shall be my first test subject, because of course he will. Lore, I would like you to recall the last time you experienced the Echo. It has been a bit of a minute. Concentrate on that feeling. Mr. Geralt, I need you to recall a memory. Anything. I better not go poking on there digging up something unsavory like, you hear? Yeah. This is going to be terrible, whatever it is. Oh, so we can activate the Echo now. Well, I take back everything I said yesterday. 50 negatives to story. Yeah, I know, I caught that, Remedy. Otherwise, I would be actually upset. This is most unexpected. For reasons I cannot explain, it appears the Echo has allowed me to accompany you into his memory. That's your device. You're a skilled smith, Geralt. Hey, Rowena. But you hold money about as well as liquor. What bloody good is money if you can't spend it? A man has to live a little. Ah, and it wouldn't hurt for a man to use his head either. With all that talent of yours, you could have amassed a small fortune by now. Could have been you sitting on the syndicate instead of Godbird. As if I'd ever want to be anything like that doddering old, half-dressed... Yeah. Now, whatever. Didn't realize my memory was so sharp. Hi, Geralt. As you can see, implicit memory is surprisingly comprehensive. Clear skies, ocean waves, exact words of conversation. Everything perfectly preserved. You weren't listening to that, were you? Yeah. It's kind of her job. Every time someone gives you good advice, you turn around and do the complete opposite. I used to like that rebellious streak of yours, but now you're just a bloody idiot. Honestly, I don't know what I ever saw in you. I mean, he's walking around without a shirt on. Whatever it is you think you saw. It ain't as if I've changed since then. And you haven't neither. Still as beautiful as the day we met. Hold on a minute. I never said anything like that. I swear on my last mug of ale. Implicit memories are quite comprehensive. While quite comprehensive, not always true to fact. In the case of painful or otherwise undesirable experiences, they can be obfuscated to protect oneself from hard truths. Our perception of reality can distort them as well, even when first committed to the mind. Then as time passes, distortions grow. Happy memories become joyous, sad become bitter. Yeah, I know, Alvadrix. Explicit memory is particularly sensitive to misrepresentation of events, for man is wont to remember what is most convenient for his worldview. That is why we seek the implicit, for there we are most likely to find the truth. The truth, Rowena and me were only here a week ago. Don't tell me my memory's that bleeding unreliable. A self-imposed delusion, perhaps. As I said before, the mind has a way of concealing painful memories. I'm not feeling so well, if you'll excuse me. As you can see, the crystals allow us to choose specific points in a person's past to observe it well. Unlike the Echo, however, what we see will not always be what really was. There still remains the matter of finding one who has seen the replica weapons and their inscriptions. At this present juncture, we might as well be looking for a ghost. After the Garlean invasion of Boja, it was all but cut off from the world. None were allowed in or out, meaning all of its residents, and likely any who have glimpsed his weapons, died when the Citadel was destroyed. What about the soldiers who were stationed there at the time of the incident? But even if we were able to find them, I doubt they'd be persuaded to cooperate. Damn Garleans. They're all so perfectly, beautifully evil. So sexy. No, please, Lord Varus, no. Poor Cid. It's okay, Varus is going to come back as the Emperor of Hell. It'll be great. Visions, they are not what they have come to pass, but what is yet to be. Could it be the crystal allowed us to share my vision as well? Makoto, Lore, are you two alright? Yeah, we need to find Cid. Again. I know we all talk about who's the main character of these games. I gotta be honest, it's Cid. It's always Cid. He's a pretty recurring element in every single expansion, including ARR, if you count that. Come to think of it, Yugiri mentioned that Doma and Eorzean Alliance have been receiving support from Garland Ironworks. I thought the company should use such a moniker mere happenstance, but Cid Garland owns the company. Yep, and he keeps not making money because he keeps doing things like going after Omega. It's okay, though, he saved the planet, so... You know... Probably a worthwhile investment. He must be summoned at once. If he was at the Citadel prior to its destruction, it's quite possible he may have seen the replicas. Fate is indeed a cruel mistress, pinning our hopes on a Garlean. The get of that bastard Midas, no way. Look, if you talk bad about Cid, you're gonna have to talk through my gunblade and various other weapons I also have. I'm just letting you know. Cid's cool, alright? Please bring us this Cid Garland, for the people of Boja and for Ilzabard. Please stop doing that. It's kind of creepy. Stop kneeling. But you're a Star Destroyer. That doesn't mean I want you to kneel. Stop kneeling. I do not imagine he sympathizes with our plight, but from what I gather, he has no love for the Empire either. If that will suffice in persuading him to aid us, Well, then so be it. I hear there are engineers stationed at Rogers Reach. Maybe you can begin your search there. To Rogers! Just over here, and then over here. What? What? No flight? No. They wouldn't dare, Alpatrix. Say, aren't you Lore? Savior of Eorzea? Yeah, like 4 times over. Liberator of Alamigo? Yeah, so on and so forth. Name's Legia. Newest recruit to Ironworks. What can I do for you? Aren't you hot in that getup in the desert? The chief? Too busy by half, according to Jesse. Between you and me, though, I think it's a load of... Oh, go on. A load of what? I was saying what a load off your shoulders it must be, knowing the chief is back from whatever he was doing. Speaking of whom, Lord said he wanted to speak to him about, what was it again? Gosh, damn it, you better not... You might hear better than most, but you're a terrible listener. Would you mind starting again from the beginning? I see. Well, you must have just missed him. Sierra's wall is due for maintenance, and he had to oversee it personally. That said, any matters concerning you are top priority. It's nice to know that Sid is someone that considers us top priority, as indeed it should be. I'm reminded of Lotro, and one of the things Lotro got right. When Elrond had a problem, who do you think he called? Anyways, taking this as an average day for you. Must be hard, always having to put on a brave face as you're thrust into danger. People tugging you this way and that like you're some sort of errand boy. Oh, well, you know. Not that we don't appreciate what you do for us. Goodness knows I do. In fact, well, you see, I'm something of a fan. I knew the Ironworks worked with you on occasion, but I didn't think I'd have a chance to meet you in person. Can I shake your hand? I don't know. 6 feet distance, you know. Lucia, Sid being back took a load off of my shoulders, not yours. Don't you have work to do? Oh, right. Duty calls. Wait, but... Okay. Chief says he'll meet you at the Dome and Enclave. Not the most convenient of locations, but it'll have to do, I'm afraid. One more thing. The Boja incident is something of a sore spot for the Chief. Even if it was an accident, most people outside the Empire remember it as a massacre. The Chief tried to put a stop to his father's experiment, but his pleas fell on deaf ears, and he blames himself for it all. I should have tried harder, he'd say. I could have saved them. I could have saved all of them. All that genius, and the man can't find a way to forgive himself. So if you're aiming to go digging through the past, be careful. I dread to think what demons he's got locked away in that brain of his. It's okay, I've been to space. I was gonna say, knowing Final Fantasy, literal demons! But anyways. She's tough as Magitek armor plating when she wants to be, but her heart's in the right place. Shame she's so busy. As are you, if I'm not mistaken. I won't keep you longer. Best of luck. That's true, Rex. I didn't even think about that. The Chief said he'd be waiting for you at the Dome and Enclave. Okay. Ironically, that's actually my home spot. Not for any big reason, just because it's a place that's irritating to reach, so I have a shortcut there. Standard MMO logic. That's why my Hearthstone in World of Warcraft is actually set in Pandaria. Not that I go there that often, but it's an irritating place to reach, so I can just harp there. Look out. Imperial Magitech armor. What, like the main theme? Yeah, no, it's a good theme. Look at that wall, like, God. Anyways. Master Garlon? Yes, I saw him restlessly pacing. Hey, dude. Yeah, how do you like the restoration effort? It's hard to believe this place was, until recently, occupied by the Garleans. Doma has a long way to go before it regains its... Oh, thanks, buddy. But they're off to a good start. So I've heard. If the Bojans wish to follow the Doman's lead, I plan to do what I can to help them. In fact, I've already spoken to Lord Hien and agreed to divert part of the ironwork resources to assist in Doma reconstruction. The offer seems to have taken him by surprise, but I assured him that in addition to the ironwork's commitment to freedom through technology, I have my own reasons to reverse the destruction wrought by the Empire. While Shui eventually defected, I played no small part in the development of Magitech now used by the military. Sometimes it's the threads you can't see that have the strongest ties. Would that I had cut them. Could cut them. Listen, dude, you're not evil. Chill. Even so, a day goes by that I don't... Not a day goes by that I don't think about a part I played in the atrocities they committed. If I could have made my father see reason, there would have been no Boja incident. But I was powerless to stop him. I don't know what that emote is. Yeah, you're right. There's a time for wallowing and self-pity, and a time for action. I plan to do whatever I can for the Bojan resistance, but they're up against the Fourth. If they're going to stand a chance, their allies here in the east won't be enough. They're going to need all the help they can muster. I'm not entirely sure what part I'll have to play in all this, and I doubt anything I do now will be enough to atone for past mistakes. But if it means throwing a spanner in the Empire's works, then count me in. That's the rally emote? Okay. Feel better! Bam! 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 Oh, God. Why are you punching me? Feel better! Bam! 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 Oh, for God's sakes! Upon speaking with Makoto, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It's recommended you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Really? We're having one of those warnings here? Okay. I wish this was voice acted. I could get some work done while it's happening. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe I can't anyways? No, because I have to say it out loud. Damn it! Alright, whatever. Whatever. Let's do it. And I've gotten that warning a few times, but I'll never forget the first time I got that warning, where it was 47, I think? It was just over 45 minutes of cutscenes. This is back in ARR, and most of you probably remember the specific one I'm referencing. It was a longin'. God. If you're ready, I would like to begin our exploration. Think back to your time at Boja Citadel. You needn't focus on a specific memory, if that helps. Alright, just promise me you'll be careful in there. Yeah, all voice acted. I mean, you could kind of speed it up, but only by seconds. Incredibly unlikely, little Billy. All these people already have voice actors. Now, that being said, we could bits and piece things together, but there's a lot of characters, there's an insane amount of dialogue, and it would be very long. Like, you think FF9 is long, with its 13 chapters? We'd also have to decide what happens where, for the point of the narrative. Yeah, what we'd have to do, and, I mean, this is doable, you could just turn off voice acting and then replace it with our own. Yeah, and Rax would never finish his lines. Alright, Rax, we want you to voice Sid. Never back again. Whoa! Angle. Super angled. Is everything so distorted when you tested this before? Your recollection of this place appears grossly incomplete. I can assume your memory is being warped by your subconscious. Well, I'd rather not stand around laboring over details. Let's look over the transmission tower, the Principia. A military base appearing out of thin air. Or out of my mind, I suppose. Did it appear because you mentioned Principia, I wonder? In the world? The road just ends. No, it's right there. We can keep going. Hang on. Okay, whatever. As a consequence of incomplete memories, you have to think back, Sid. Where did this road lead? Look at the terrain. I can't go into first person, but look at the terrain back there. It's literally sheaved off. This all seems so absurd. Recalling the Citadel shouldn't be so difficult. The blue of the cobblestone streets, if not for the occasional military installation, it would have looked like any other city. Wait, I remember. You've done it, Sid. The road has returned. We should be able to reach the Principia if we keep heading north. Look, the transmission tower. Yeah, I was going to say, Memoria. Granted, Memoria really is thematically and in literal terms a different thing than this, but it certainly looked pretty similar. Anyways. Sorry, Laura tries. My mind's drawing a blank. Maybe there's something around here that might jog my memory. Well, how about this broken Magitech thing? The old and terrible one that I hate. As opposed to, you know, mine. Which is amazing and awesome. Weapons and magic armor. Right, the fighting had already started and I was... Well done, Sid. Let us press onwards. It's all starting to come back to me now. I must drive them out. Oh my god. Tension in the air is palpable. Right, the soldiers were on high alert that day. The Bosian resistance had infiltrated the Citadel to stop the Academy's experiments. Damn you! For Bosia! You suppose it's possible we can tamper with this memory? A curious question, one worth investigating. Shall we? That's how that works. Ooh. I may have to rebind that. And by may, I mean I totally, absolutely will have to rebind that. Give me just a sec to think about this. Yeah. Well... memory appears to be mending itself. Interesting. Altering memories is easier said than done, it seems. Well, let's keep going. There. Oh, it should be there, but... okay. Maybe I could do it there. That's not a terrible idea. Or I could do it there. That's not a bad idea. That means I need to move. That should be there anyways. I'm sorry, I'm rearranging my buttons in my head, because for those of you not aware, and I'm sure I'm the only one who does this because I'm an idiot and a moron, but the way that... My sister would yell at me if she heard me say that. She just did that earlier today. The way that my buttons are laid out, there's a patterning to it. Types of abilities, things that fall into certain categories, are categorized regardless of which class I am, and frankly, which MMO I'm playing. This is the same general pattern as I use in WoW, right? So, I want the... And the reason I do that, by the way, is so I don't have to think about where, oh god, where's the such and such button? It's just, it's there, and I can hit it in the moment. So I'm trying to think of how to rearrange things to shove that in to the bar in a way that makes sense, which means I have to rearrange other bars, which you get where I'm going with this. So, there's that. Let's just pull these out. I'm sorry, give me just a moment. I really want to think about this. So we want to pull those two out there. And that means X could be the live button. That's something I do in several classes. So X is the live button. That means... Oh, I moved the wrong ability out. Sorry, there we go. That does leave me with Blasting Zone, which I should probably put in 6, because that's my filler off cooldown button. Like on Samurai, for example, my 6 button... I can't change it. My 6 button's the one where you spend sword bar to buff your next attack. So that's kind of an off cooldown thing. Now, if I could move that... I could move the heal, the dash, or the dot to B. And B's a regular. So I'll probably go ahead and move... What's the cooldown on that anyways? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's pretty long. Let's move the dot up there. Then... we'll actually move heal over to 5, dash over to 4. I keep doing that anyways. I keep accidentally hitting 4 to dash, because that's my norm. That's my charge button. Then we can do this here, and continuation right next to it as 2 and 3. Yeah, I got tons, Cordoon. We might not finish it this week. Although we are losing a day, Thursday, in streaming, so that's part of the reason. Okay. Into the facility. Principia. Inside is the transmission tower. What? Okay. What the hell are these? 7... What in the 7 hells are these? Is exactly what Sid just said. Could they be manifestation of your subconscious? If so, they likely seek to suppress your memory of the Citadel. Meaning they intend to purge us from your mind. We cannot let them. Defeat the antibodies. Ha ha ha. So then we can do this, and then this. Oh yeah, that feels very natural. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, that was a good position. That's a good position. This, then we got this, still over there on the AoE circle as it should be, and there's the big hit. I should be doing this as an astrologian. Just to absolutely be as infuriating as possible. Although I need to rebind Y. Put it on... No, I can't put it on 0. Or 9. Or 8. Or 7. There's no end to them. We have to hold on, lest they succeed in erasing us from Sid's mind. Scooch out of the way here. Don't mind me. Did you guys come here? By the way, I noticed they're just saying "get out, get out, get out." Sit that there. Hello. Curious that we can defeat Curious if we can defeat these, but not the soldiers earlier. Perhaps because they're not truly part of the memory? We can worry about it later. Come on, we're nearly to the tower. I sure hope there's no external influence in all this. Raise eyebrow. Just a little further. I mean, I see the boss line right there. What? Okay, there's Dalamud. I'm gonna kind of talk over this because it's entirely possible that this is gonna be a copy-wrong scenario, so... There's Bahamut. That's not Bahamut. That's way too small to be Bahamut. Like, that's not Bahamut. That's Bahamut's little pinky snail. Well, this should be fun. Bahamut! This has to be another attempt by your subconscious to stop us. Please, Sid, you have to pull yourself together. Are we sure I'm not suffering for a sudden onset of psychosis? Defeat Altered Bahamut. Yeah, sure. I'll just defeat Bahamut. We have no choice but to fight. Otherwise, his subconscious will continue to repress this memory. Well, okay. We have to stop it. I mean, do I have to? I guess for Sid, I will. I mean, Sid, you know how JRPG characters are. Concussions is just a way of saying hello. Oh, sorry, Bahamut. Gotta say it right. That's... I sure hope this song isn't copy-wrong, because, I mean, it's probably too late at this point to really fix it, so... We'll see how many copy-wrongings we get. Would not be the first time. Especially not with Square. Yes, we're defeating Bahamut by ourselves. Because, you know, Star Destroyer. Yeah, that's not how that works, Cobrain, but thank you for the thought. We will see once the VOD goes live, because that's when we'll know. Yeah, the Kingdom Hearts videos have yet to be released, by the way. So that's neat. I'm getting very close to just deleting the Kingdom Hearts lore run and walking away from it. I mean, at that point, it's the question of, what's worse, having parts of the lore run there, or having none of it there, right? What's the option? I've noticed they're using some of the new mechanics, or at least relatively new mechanics. Come on. God, I'm imagining doing this as an astrologian. This would be so terrible. Exactly. If it was an actual copyright issue, that, yeah, no, it should be taken down or prevented or whatever. Alas. The real problem is, and I've said this so many times, but it bears repeating, it's not actually the company. It's not Square is not the problem. It's whoever actually owns the rights to distribute the music. And I always say that very specifically, because it's not the people who own the music, just the people who own the rights to distribute the music. They're the ones who like to go after people for crap like this, because, you know, life is stupid. Don't mind me. Oh yeah, I said this in chat earlier, but just to repeat myself on camera. Someone was asking me why it is that I like Dancer, since, you know, it's all randomy. Thanks to the nature of how they've designed it and how they've staggered the procs, I never have nothing to do, and everything kind of weaves in and out of itself rather smoothly as a consequence of that. You know, there's no dead zone with playing a Dancer. And I just wanted to say that out loud, since, you know... You can also force procs, but I can't do that yet. I'm only level 60. But point remaining. Anyways. Perhaps now your subconscious will be more forthcoming with the truth in this memory. Yeah, that's a thing that might be happening. Is that Sid? Do you recall this happening? I mean, he kind of has to. That's how that works. It's... I'm guessing that's his dad. Father was so angry that day. Father, please, if you would just look over this data. Enough, damn you. Next time you question me, it'll should be your last. Now leave. You of all people should understand the risks. Why do you refuse to see what reason? Well... Oh yeah, by the way. Pre-beard. And his eye is more exposed there. Actually, yeah, it's a good example, Purple One. It's rather unlike him to overlook the data no matter the source. Look here, I mean, he left his research documentation. You pick up the research documents and find page after page of meticulous calculations and observational data on Dalamud. Young Sid posits the Lesser Moon may well possess the ability to harness and manipulate solar power. Moreover, the vast stores of energy it's amassed over the millennia, should they be unleashed, would far exceed any parameters the transmission tower had been designed to withstand. By the gods, the data, the Empire would invite a calamity. So many sleepless nights spent on those damned papers, all for nothing. If my suspicions are correct, then he was already... Never mind, let's press on. Yes. Meanwhile, Emmett Selkin's in the background like, yeah. What? This is the plan, dude. There they are. The replicas of Gunhilder's blades. Hey, I can look at all of them from here. Or in a second, maybe. Well, there's the gunblade I'll be getting. Know your place, whelp. The Meteor Project will not be stopped, certainly not by the likes of you. I'm evil, you see. They were going an interesting way with my character, but then changed their mind for reasons we still don't actually know, to my knowledge. No, this is wrong. Emperor Solus couldn't have been here. Sid, you mustn't forget. It's only a memory. That's funny, Remedy's like, I wonder why they reused the model. It's okay, he has a gun shield. Sid Garland, bringer of ruin, heralder of ash. Your father must be proud. How does it feel to know such calamity follows in your wake? That your failings bring death to all you hold dear? Didn't I just fight a boss fight? Yeah, thank you, me. And now, you would set this filth against me. Very well. Oh, it's a shield. You can see the gun on it. I'm not actually joking. That is a gun shield. But one fate awaits those who oppose the will of the Empire. Donuts! Oh, your empire, right, sorry. His trauma's too much, he's lost control. If this memory's false, perhaps you can alter it with the echo. Your greatest strength, instilling in others the courage to rise up, the courage to fight for what's right. The road that we walk was lost in the flood. think Thancred's gonna hold it off me. I'm okay with.
This is going to leave a mark.
What, suddenly voice acting for the first time in 2 days of streaming.
You underestimate me.
I was gonna say, so trust trials? Is this what I'm hearing?
Protect me!
I will not hold back.
I mean, I'd be down. The trust system is good, just flawed, as I've already discussed. Make it less grindy. Bam. Done. I mean, there's more I would do, but that is the easy fix. Well, if you insist. By the way, continuation is awesome, having used it now for a little bit. Especially since, I'm sure most of you already know this, but the way it's designed is its timing neatly fits with, weaving it in and out of whatever that ability is. This one. I can't remember the name of.
Gloves are off.
I was actually going to say, I noticed he's not using his gun shield.
I shall protect thee.
But, you know, whatever. Kinda wish I had recount right about now. Curious what I'm doing compared to them. This isn't right either. Emperor Lord Varys, he wasn't there. The Academy was given full charge of the project. Though these events are as you remember them, this is not the truth. Not entirely. Whoever this is, your mind has been trying to protect you from them. It's... really? Hang on. I know I'm muted, guys. I'm on the phone. Give me a second. Asmongold however you say his name, is one of the bigger streamers, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Sorry guys, that took priority, as it actually always does, so that's just how that is. Meanwhile, this whole time, Sid has been really, really in shock about the idea that if it's not Varus, who could it be? What could I possibly have to hide from myself? So it was you who pulled the trigger, Father. Sid, look, his eyes. No, it can't be. Explain. If contact with Dalamud was able to stir Bahamut to consciousness, it stands to reason the Dreadworm discovered a way to link the tower, and therefore enslave your father. In which case there's nothing that could be done for him. There's no arguing or reasoning with such individuals, there's only the will of the Primal. By the way, hi Sean. And if Bahamut was controlling your father at the time of the accident, then in all likelihood it wasn't an accident. Funny, the Telltale streams tend to be some of my most popular ones, Juju's. And so the truth finally comes to light. Bahamut destroyed Boja. What? That's the truth. So guys, this massive dragon dude is kind of the problem here. Bahamut's thrall and no one the wiser, not even your own son. For the record, I agree with what someone mentioned earlier. I mean, obviously, G-Juice is just trolling, but while I compare FF14 to WoW, I do so from a technical perspective, not an opinion or quality perspective. They really are very different things. I know they in many ways fill the same general slot, but that is a complete surface perspective. At basically every level, WoW and FF14 are different games. Calling them the same is like saying... is like saying Dragon Age Origins and Final Fantasy IX are the same type of game. You can see why they use that comparison. You see the similarity, but really, no. On behalf of the Bojan Resistance, you have my deepest thanks. That being said, I stand by what I've said many times. I think WoW and FF14 should both steal more ideas from each other, from a mechanics perspective, a gameplay perspective, because both have great ideas the other could use. I'm just glad I could help. Ever since that fateful day, the truth of what befell our loved ones has eluded us. I held the Empire and your father responsible for their part in the tragedy, and for many years that hatred was all that kept me going. Indeed, I was blinded by that hatred, so much that it even appeared to me as an enemy. I could not see the blood, sweat, and tears you have poured into bettering the lives of those seeking freedom from the Empire. I can only see a Garlean, and and for that I'm sorry. If you can forgive me, let us be allies, united against common foe. The Asians, come now, I should apologize to you. After all, my father and the Empire did, even if not of their own volition. And their crimes will never be forgotten. I'd hazard even victory over the Empire won't be enough to ease the pain. Even now that I know the truth behind the Boja incident, all it's done is make me question the choices that led me here to this moment. But, regardless of the past, we have to keep pressing forward, one step at a time, for freedom. Just as heroes of old would have done. We Bojans grew up on such tales of peerless warriors, pure of heart, unwavering in conviction. And here we are, full of doubt and uncertainty. Will we ever take our place in the pages of history? Once I kill the rest of the Asians... Look, you gotta remove the external players from the board before you can play the game. I'm just saying. If you're playing chess with someone, and there's a third person who just keeps reaching over and moving around the pieces on the board, and they are allowed to do that for whatever reason to make this analogy work, then you gotta get rid of that person first. Then you could focus on the board. Just saying. You say the crystal focus is no longer responsive. It would appear the stories of ether resided within have been depleted. I did not expect our exploration of your mind to be such a taxing endeavor. I'm with you on that one, Maz. In fact, near as I can tell, most people are. Once I identify its etheric affinity and a power source with a compliant energy frequency, I am confident its reserves can be replenished. I thought perhaps the Alliance could use it to extract information from some of their less cooperative Garlean captives, but nothing's ever that easy, is it? I'm afraid etherology is beyond the scope of my expertise, so I'll leave the rest to you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call for me. Thank you for your help, Master Sid. I better head back. I've got a mountain of work waiting for me. Peace. Bye, Sid. Before you go... If you ever feel lost, you can always talk to me. Aww. Of course, if I run into any ether-related problems, you'll be the first to know. Don't think that's what she meant, Sid. Right. Let's get to work on the crystal focus. In the world are you doing, Cordoon? I don't think I want to know. Everything is at last in place to begin work on the weapons of Queen Gunhild. Okay, let's do it. It's the donation from Sean sound right there. Thank you very much, Sean. As always. I've put that towards Shantae, Half Genie Hero. I'm still not even done with this one quest. Meanwhile, in Dalmasca, you can tell they're the bad guys because they have equipment. AKA the Vietnam... The mark Vietnam has left on fiction. Because that's what that is. Hey, it's totally not Gabranth. Our spies at Garnkos encampment have confirmed the work of the Blades of Gunhild are underway. They are welcome to them. Who has no need of such trinkets when the Lady of Blades will soon be in play? No, Richard Cove. We will proceed as planned. When their forces reach Boja, you know what must be done. Understood. You can stop bowing. The Empire is fated to fall, but in its place a new nation shall rise, grander and mightier than anything the Garleans could have ever dreamed. And it shall be made possible by the very power they abhor. Yeah, I was saying, we'll call it Arcades, or Arcadia, if you prefer. On the Edge of Memory, with Blue Lady. Save the Queen, chapter the 1st. It's what? Wait, Sidception. Oh my god. Hey, we're back. We have several quests now. Okay. I'm not reading this out loud. Interesting. I'm sorry, Bosch was a knight of the Republic of Landis. So Gabranth isn't Garlean. He's from Landos. He actually managed to crawl his way up the ranks in methods that are well described, which I shall not repeat to you. But it makes sense, the path... What are you guys doing? The path to power that is mentioned makes perfect sense. He and his forces under the 4th Legion don't lean on Magitech weaponry heavily like most of the other legions do. Instead, they simply use proper strategy and tactics, which is probably at least partially why Gabranth was able to push himself up to Legatus, although his father had something to do with that too. Interesting. Probably the chanting, Pika. Or the singing, or whatever you want to call that. The term gun may have been derived from a particularly historical weapon, the Domina Gunilda, which was the name of a remarkably large ballista, a mechanical bolt-throwing weapon of enormous size, mounted at Windsor Castle during the 14th century. This may have also been derived from the Old Norse woman's proper name, Gunhildr, which combines 2 Old Norse words referring to battle. In any case, the term gon, or gun, was applied to early handheld firearms in the late 14th, possibly early 15th centuries. That's real-life lore right there. I'm just mentioning it because that's basically exactly what he just said. It's just he used the fictional version. We actually already mentioned this during the Gunbreaker question. So yeah, he's not actually telling me anything new. This is just the stuff the Gunbreaker chain already covered. I see why they put it here. I'm not complaining. That's why I'm not even summarizing, because we've already covered that. Or is that a she? Whatever. That person. The Empire conquered Boja 50 years ago. Give you a bit of a time frame period here. No, see, she actually has a decent suit of armor, so you can't really tell. As opposed to, you know, what 2B was wearing earlier, or 2S, or whatever damn name was. No one is certain why Dalamud responded with such destructive force. Well... Of course, that's the 1.0 stuff, which we, of course, already know. It's funny to me that they keep referencing the Dalamud incident. Not in a bad way, by the way. You would be surprised how much fiction will have a big, huge event and then never reference it again. Or reference it very rarely. In fact, frankly, that's common. To not reference that kind of a major event. By contrast, it makes perfect sense that something like, you know, Bahamut and the Dalamud death would be something that would be referenced in the future, since it was a kind of a big deal. We still reference World War II now. Yeah, I'm gonna do Gunbreaker. And get question mark, question mark. These are going to be called resistance weapons. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Crosses my mind to call them Gunhilder's blades, but after talking with Misha, we figured it'd be too confusing, seeing that's also the name of the Queen's Guards. So, any road. Your timing couldn't be better. Before we get working in earnest, I was hoping you could tell me more about what went on in Sid's noggin. I've heard a fair bit from Mikoto, but I'd like to know if you saw anything different. Explain. Sounds like I was right to ask before I set into work. It seems to me those fancy markings of the weapon are mainly for show. I can copy them, but that won't be enough. Like as not, they were carved into the hilts as well, and to make sure the spell can hold, you need to finish with fine powder. For that, I need stuff. Rowena? Not Rowena, the demoness of coin. But not to worry. Just so happens she's been keeping up a steady shipment of supplies on contract. Alright, let's go talk to her. She isn't usually one to do business for charity, I know, but it's worth a try, right? I'll see about getting in touch with her. Okay. I'm gonna need you to get 20,000 poetics. My name is Lawton, but more importantly, what if Mistress Rowena does not agree to a charitable donation? I'm sure if you ask Bajan to ask her to come around nicely, but never mind, we've got important work to do. As for where to find Rowena, before she left Gangos, she said she'd be stopping over at Kugane. Okay. Poor Geralt. I just need to make my own organization. With blacksmiths and, I don't know what to call the other thing. Something. Lore! My, that I'd find you here of all places. This is the EX, isn't it? Cat girls, there you go. Yep, oh, yep. We'll just unlock this. Memory Misera. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Alright, what was the meme? Or do you just mean the him meme? Because I tend to skip all of those. Because, hell, I did that earlier today if you were paying attention. Oh, it makes a JoJo reference. Got it. If it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't have caught it. Alright, real talk. How many of you have gotten that lookout point right there? You can tell I haven't, because it's still there. I was wondering when you'd show up. Geralt told me everything. Hi. Luckily for you, my business here was at the Tavnarian consulate. Here you are. This should be enough powder for one of those resistance weapons you're forging. 50 quid is not enough to do it. Sorry, Mr. Red. Also, I don't even know how to start, and I've never looked into it because I don't actually care that much. But I guess I could Google it. I've got to hand it to Geralt. Seems he spends half his time getting deeper in debt and the other half avoiding payments. Fine by me, though. Thanks to his scheming, I've got more leverage on the resistance, and by extension, him. Pass along the message to Geralt and Bajazin for me, would you? Baj, that's his name. If they require more material for these weapons, I'll be more than happy to supply them. For a fee. Same goes for you. I know you adventuring types are always looking to be prepared for any type of encounter. So if you want another one, it'll be 1,000 poetics in Revenant's Toll or Idleshire. Cool. Curious what item level this first tier 1 will be. Because if it's 480, then it's equivalent. Oh, right, that's in... 485. Got it. Or 480 with materia? Whatever. I'm sure it looks cool one way or the other. We may push it past, you know, baseline. Who knows? What's a poetic? These are poetics. You see the 2000 of 2000? The thing that I'm capped on and tend to just sit at cap for gargantuan chunks of time. That's poetics. Black Mage would be interesting. I mean, I guess I shouldn't ask that. My Black Mage is probably 50. If it's a class I'm not pushing, it's probably 50. Black Mage, Black Mage. Yep, there it is. 50 dead. The weapon's nearly finished, Lord. Just need a nice coating with that powder to finish the inscription. Oh, there you go. Of course she bloody found what needed. As much as I hate her fattening her purse with another man's coin, at least we can do our part for the Resistance. One of these days I may actually finish my Paladin ARR relic weapon. It looks very cool. I just wish I didn't hate the class it's on, and I wish the quest itself wasn't a time sink from hell. I think I'll like my final Astrologian one, which will be, you know, the Heavensward one. Feast your eyes on some of my finest work to date. Best of all, the inscription will react to ether. Crown's Blade. That I should behold the glory of the fabled blades born anew. Hope is not yet lost. All in a day's work for old Geralt. I mean, yeah, kinda. Your skills with the hammer are truly a sight to behold, Master Geralt. And to see Lore wielding one of the holy blades thus, it's as if I stand before the heroes of old. What do I hate about Paladin? I don't actually hate Paladin. It's a reasonably well-designed class. It's just boring to me. That's really what it boils down to. It's like... Oh god, what's a good comparison? Imagine if this is going to be a terrible analogy von Falkenstein, but imagine a game I'm reviewing where I give no positives or negatives to gameplay. That's what Paladin feels like. It's just there, you know? And the whole time I'm just like, okay. Anyways, when the time comes to do battle with the Empire, our brothers in arms will look upon you and know courage. On behalf of the Bosian Resistance, I offer you my humblest thanks for your aid thus far. Yeah, it is bare bones and standard. That it is, and as Cordoon points out, your rotation is very static. It's you do this. There's no real thought that goes into the design. It's not like Dancer, where you are constantly paying attention to the flow and weave of it, or Gunbreaker, where you constantly have something to do depending on how you're doing it. It's just... and that's it. Anyways. Yep. Yeah, you could probably tell based on the classes I prefer to run that I prefer dynamic classes. Monk is a completely different problem. My biggest problem with Monk is the fact that it's positional. I forget the exact specifics. It's been a long time. Let's see if I can just mouse over to show you some of these here. That's there you go. So that one does damage from the rear. That one does damage from the flank. And you know what? I could stop there. But that means, like, here, hang on. I need a volunteer. So we'll pretend that, who is this person? That's Rax. Okay, so we'll pretend I'm fighting Rax, right? So I'm like, puh, 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 puh. And that's kind of Monk. Now, I don't mean this as an unkindness, but in WoW... Okay, you got me there, Rex. In WoW, that would be awesome. But WoW doesn't have the netcode issue that I've talked about before. With that, so it's actually a twofold issue. The first is the netcode issue. There's probably no solving that. The second, though, is in FF14, animations aren't really tied to actions, if that makes any sense. You probably have seen this if you've watched any of this run, von Falkenstein. Like, imagine for a moment that Rax is a boss, and he does a big line attack right directed at me, okay? So what will happen is I will sit here, I'll scooch out of the line, and as soon as the line goes away on the ground, I will run right back and start hitting him. And then the giant explosion will go off in my face. But it didn't happen then. It happened back when the line went away, right? Now that's by design, I'm pretty sure. But as a direct consequence of that type of thing, it just doesn't work in my head to pay attention to where I am regarding where to actually punch at any given point in time on the boss. And if I'm being honest, there's actually a third issue I have. And the third issue I have is, tell me where Rax is facing right now. Now, if you actually click him, you'll notice there's an arrow. Hang on. There. Do you see that arrow? Now, everyone group up on him. Just everyone. Here. Scooch up. Scooch up. Okay. So, this is actually a bad example. Here, I'll kind of scooch over here. Okay. Which way is he facing? Now, you can tell, but you see why it's not really what I would call at-a-glance information. It takes a moment to be like, okay, that way. And thus, now you can tell this is his side, and this is his back. And yeah, by the way, Rax is that tiny. Bosses are usually like this, so whatever. You may mock if you want, but for these reasons, I walked away from Monk. I just said, nope. No, thank you. Alright, so let's check out this new gun we just got. Ah, screw it, let's just equip it. That does look very cool, I will freely admit. Hang on, where's figure out how to upgrade this later. Right now I need to do the Boja quest, which is that, I think? It's the only quest I see here. That's true. That person should not be resting right there. Oh, they're a cat. Okay, that makes sense. Where's Black Mage? Aw. Black Mage! What? Okay, so, looks like I'm too low level to see the Black Mage. I was gonna see what the Black Mage one looked like. So, I guess we're not actually doing it because I can't. That's okay, that's okay. I did that, I did that, and I did that. Wait a second, I have some notes here. Okay, so we did that. Yeah, no, it looks like 5.1 will be our next step. Okay. 5.1 it is. Just making sure. Just making sure. So, alright, let's go do 5.1, which is this quest. Yes, we should actually have voice acting, guys. Holy crap. Tell you one thing I appreciate about... Oh, you thought I was going to say, wow, didn't you? No, Guild Wars 2 is that it is fully voice acted, which is just really nice. Even the main character is fully voice acted, and God, it adds so much to that game. It's one of the things they do right, I think. Hey, Tataru. Of course she's not voice acted here. Lore! Good to see you. I hope your being here means you've had your fill of rest. I would prefer no voice acting over bad voice acting, but I would prefer voice acting over no voice acting, and I would prefer full voice acting over partial voice acting. There's like the tiering there. Did they do it before Tor? Guild Wars 2, I don't think was out when Tor came out, so no, is the answer to your question. So I guess Tor counts as the first MMO that actually did full voice acting, and it's awesome, by the way. Yeah, I haven't slept much, Totaro. You're too selfless, that's your problem. But you'll be no good to anyone if you don't take a break every once in a while. Yeah, part of the reason I'm so tired today is I stayed up late last night, woke up early this morning, and didn't take a break, all in service of this run. Anyways, not much has happened since your last visit. I had planned for you to meet that helper I told you about, but he refuses to answer his link pearl. Hope he's alright. We've been exchanging messages with the Eorzean Alliance throughout, though. They say the fighting has finally stopped at the Gimlet Dark, and the Empire's showing no sign of movement. Which means you might actually have a moment to ourselves for a change, and seeing as you're back, maybe you could tell me about your time in the First? Oh, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask that person to join us. She'll want to know what happened to Minfilia, and I think it's best she hears it from you. We'll meet at the Terrace of the House of Splendors. Hello, Carwellis. It's right outside. Okay. Just double checking. But there you go. Tor was first. Tor, if you remember, some of you probably don't remember this, Tor actually was delayed a lot. And part of the reason why was because of the full voice acting. Because that is expensive and time-consuming. Trust me, I should know. Best mount in the game. Oh, her. I remember her. Yeah, we can just fly up here instead of doing this in order to get up here. Why is Rax in a mecha, by the way? I've been meaning to ask that. We have actually reviewed Pathfinder Kingmaker. it was earlier in the review list, but we did do it. Lore, it's been on too long. Tataru did mention I would be joining you, did she not? Thank you, Orange Deku. Ah, Bojin Southern Front, thank you. Words cannot express how much I have longed to know more of the first. This world of Minfilia sacrificed so much to save. But come, rest your feet. Tataru should be arriving shortly. And this should be voice acted? And so, Minfilia chose to pass her gift on to the next oracle. This girl whose Thancred named... I don't remember how to pronounce it. Reen? Renee? To have such a burden thrust upon her as a child, only to embrace it when given such a choice. It is Reen, okay. In that respect, they are quite alike. It would seem her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Nice shot. Lore, might I ask a favor you when you next return to the First? To tell Reen what I cannot. Tell her thank you. Yeah, sure. And I would like to offer thanks as well for staying with her to the end. Begging your pardon, but could I have a word? I am... Riol. I hope you're here to tell me you've received word from our helper. I wish. Nay, I've not got a peep out of him. It's been a good long while now. Too bloody long. On account of which, I'm going to sneak up over the border, see if I can't get a signal to him from closer up. What if they catch you? There must be another way. By the way, Tataru's awesome. Don't at me. Well, if it ain't as if I can't ask Thancred to do it. Besides, I shouldn't have no trouble picking my way through Gimlet now that the fighting's died down. Gods know there's enough shadows to hide in. And it beats waiting around twiddling my thumbs. Any road, I just thought I'd let you know. Now best be. Ugh, nearly forgot. I don't remember how they pronounce it. They have pronounced her name. And I keep forgetting it because I'm going to presume that's how they pronounce it in 5. For the character of the exact same name. Okay, Kryl. I'm right. I forgot. Kryl's at the Stones and she wants a word. Something to do with her patience. She was getting ready to examine him again when I left. Best back at it then. I'm sure it's important. Pray return to the Rising Stones. Bonk. You can't bring that war machine in here. I'm the Warrior of Light. Right after you, sir. We've also seen what too much darkness does, ironically. So we've seen both sides of that. Voice acting?
You're here. Good.
So, how are they?
Yes, guys, there is voice acting in this game. I know we've played for over a day and a half. Close to 17 hours. 18 hours, excuse me. Of voice acting-less gameplay. But they do have voice acting in this game.
Still locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health. For the present, at least.
For the present? Oh no, is something wrong with them?
I'm afraid there may be. I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all 5 might be affected. And when I examined them just now, my fears were confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Y'shtola and Urianger. The twins' ether, meanwhile, remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Hold on. Isn't that the order they were called away in?
Indeed. Which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time. Though I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good. Mercifully, the instability is still only slight. And you may rest assured, Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening.
Matoya is another awesome character, by the way.
Be that as it may, it is imperative that you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies. I realize you've only just returned from saving 2 worlds, but time is not on our side.
But where's he even supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look.
You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked, but I, for one, am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer. There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the First and apprise him and the others of the situation. We, meanwhile, will do what we can from here. And, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
Can I just say, I really like Kryle's voice actress. Like, she has a wonderful... I mean, it's her accent, but she, even ignoring the accent, she has a wonderful cadence to how she speaks. Let's say, now we go to another planet. Oh no, for those of you who don't remember the previous one, we have already given a voice acting positive to Shadowbringers. And, yeah, stand by it. Absolutely. I also codified a few other positives. The visuals, the brickwork, as I like to call it. And we actually already gave a plus to visual variety, so there's a plus for visual distinction and doodad utilization, as per usual. Which actually, I'm sorry, that needs to update this to there. There we go. There was the negative for menuing, which I just hadn't represented. We already gave that. And what else did we give? There was the story positive for the Shadow Walk with Me quest and the Bosha Incident quest, both of which were just awesome. And I felt like there was one other one? I guess not. I guess that's it. So, that's where we're at right now. Whoop. Hang on. Hang on. Silly me, I walked up to the door. There we go. probably one of my favorite looking areas in Shadowbringers, right here. Ah, Laura, you've returned. I hope your time at the source was suitably restful. I know, Van Falkenstein, I know what's wrong with me. But of course it wasn't. Go on. Restful. You're funny. Do you know me? The corporeal ether shows signs of instability. By the gods, the possibility never even occurred to me. If you've returned and hope my research has yielded a solution, I fear you'll be sorely disappointed. Boy, it's sure a good thing there's no time dilation as we travel back and forth between the two sides, isn't there? Oh, dude, I wish I had this room. In fact, just picture it. Like, I could use this as my studio. I have the camera and the computer and stuff right there. And just this massive area behind me in this wonderful blue and gold. Anyways. 'Tis but a mercy we have the likes of Mistress Kryl and Master Matoya to keep our friends' bodies safe while we wrestle with the problem. But they cannot forestall the separation of body and soul indefinitely. Come, others must be told. See, that's the catch, for those of you who are asking about that in chat. They are currently being tended to prevent them from going... Because, yeah, not good. Yeah, it would be very echoey. It's okay, I would have magic at that point, so... There's the best character in the game, right there. I'll let you decide which one it is. Because there's 5 on the screen right now. Sorry, second best. I forgot about Emmett. Emmett Selk is the best character in the game.
Pray excuse my late arrival.
Yeah, no problem.
Will Thancred and Reen not be joining us?
Nay, milady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
So we'll be doing the empty stuff, I believe, after 5.1. I'm not sure when exactly 5.1 ends, so we'll kind of play that by ear. But the empty was the Eden stuff, which we've actually already started.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed.
I'll get an achievement, okay.
I think it best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Kryl's findings.
Oh, sorry, we're doing it after 5.2. My bad. I thought we were doing it in between.
I suppose it was only to be expected that some change would occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected. To my eye, at least.
That's ironic coming from you.
How long they will remain so is another question. Kryl is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the source.
That's right. So, I had something in my notes. We're actually going to be doing a dungeon. That's what I was thinking of in 5.1.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy. The magic that summoned you was no exception. 'Tis a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed.
What about my clothing?
Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state. I would not soon throw my life away, not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to see you safely home.
Oh god, he could have grabbed Xenos, couldn't he? Given how the spell was malfunctioning. If you type an exclamation point and then the command, Richard Cove, a link will be shared in chat. You're probably asking, which command? We've got like 30. Whatever it is that comes to mind is probably it.
But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
Okay, so that's not one of the commands. We have 38, actually. 38 commands. There you go. List is one of them that works.
Oh. What was that for?
How can you even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the Warrior of Light, and you don't get to die unless he says so.
Your followers await your divine judgment.
I am not a god. I am a Star Destroyer.
What did you just...
What?
If the two of you have finished, perhaps we could return to our discussion? Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed. Magics that allow for the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us his possessions, he could carry our souls back to the source upon his person?
Okay. I don't even know where to begin with that. How many of you have the pets, the minions of these characters? Yeah, the second joke I was gonna go with. You ever go on the airplane? This kind of stopped being a thing after 9/11, but you'd get on the airplane and you'd bring in a full luggage, right? Like a full suitcase onto the airplane as your carry-on. And they'd look at you and you're like, no, this is my carry-on. No, it's fine.
Well, it would be nice if things were that simple for a change.
Although, in defense, less people traveled back then, so it was a little less crammed.
But vague notions of ownership seem a rather tenuous thing to stake our lives on. So much as a moment of doubt on his part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
And then we'd have to deal with Omega, and I don't want to deal with that again. Not that she was there for
The
that.
lady hath the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask, even of our friend.
No, it's okay. You belong to me now. I mean, you're just my evil twin.
Yet, were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured.
Oh, okay, so you won't be my possessions, I will simply possess you.
White Auracite would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure a single white Auracite would hold all of you, from what I understand of that.
We would need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone, and identify a means by which they might be transferred back unto our vacant bodies.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us.
Yeah, exactly, Rex.
On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves.
Is that a real thing, Steve from HR? Because that's awesome.
It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain Numo chose to make their home there soon after. Though they have long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honor in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Norvrand is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I've no objection to seeking a helping hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in the battle against the Sin Eaters. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favor with the Fae folk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
I'm almost sad. We've seen so few of these as we've been going. The Grand Cosmos, that is, the palace we seek, stands on the opposite shore of the source. I will arrange a boat to carry us there. Whilst our journeyest thither, I think it best I devote mine energies to the creation of the White Aura site, by thy leave, of course. The process requireth no small amount of time, and should the Numo consent to lend us our aid, we will have need of a suitable vessel ere long. Agreed. And I would ask upon you to meet me in Sullen, and do be prepared for a warm reception. As usual, I can be whatever. I got it all. I'm the hole filler. Update that. About it. You know what's funny is I was about to say insert Bragwin joke here, but I figured you weren't here, so there's no reason to do so. Slot filler? Need filler? I'm just gonna say hole filler. Screw it. Screw it. Roll agnostic. I mean, yeah. I could also just go goblin with it. I got what you need! As I told you before, you should start with either ODST or 1, Mr. Red. I had scarcely set foot on the palace grounds, or wars, when I was set upon with our host's familiars, and I expect our reception today to be no different, which is why I propose we march through the main gate, weapons drawn! I'm sorry, we're not allowed to petition... Are we not here to petition for assistance? You can't honestly think barging in looking for a fight is going to persuade them. Actually, I believe the Exarch may have the right of it. They have no doubt poured a great deal of time and energy into meeting those creations. Were I them, I would be most interested to meet those who could overcome my defenses. As would any... Why is this so loud? As would any true seeker of knowledge, and there is little we can say or do to convince them to help us if we know nothing of their character, nor less why they choose to hide themselves from the world. But if we seize their interest, mayhap we can earn ourselves an audience. Oh! There it is! Weapons drawn. So is this a dungeon? Well, I will not to die enjoy the thought of fighting alongside you all, rather than pacing inside the tower. You both seem in high spirits, if you ask me. Not that I'm surprised. Your moods invariably improve when lore is around. Alize is like, I'm... Oh my god, I was joking, Alize. He averted a calamity, and the light which seemed destined to consume him has been extinguished. 'Tis only natural we're pleased to see him. Yes, well, you have plenty of time to celebrate his good health. after we finished here. Of course, let us proceed to the palace. I can imagine what manner of beasts keep guard here. No doubt they afford a scant opportunity to explore the palace. Pity. I think we've done enough talking. Let's go. How long has it been since we last went on an expedition? I cannot help be reminded of the ruins. What do you need me to be, by the way, guys? It's good to be here with you for a change. Whatever you would have me do, you need but say the word. Healer! So... Oh, okay, I have transmugged. We good. I was gonna say, you guys are looking forward to seeing me in full regalia here. Let me get you, warm you up a little bit here. There we go. It's cold out. I hate this hat. I should just take it off. Hello. And goodbye. What? Should you value your lives, you will quit this place at once. Now be gone with you! It's gonna be a fight. Let's do this one. Okay, they make a mess of my floor. Swish and flick, my lovelies. Swish and flick. Call forth blades to run them through. Brave knights of old, tried and true. Take aggro as the healer. Sure, one pop it, one on. I agree with Cashel. Wow, wow. This is not solo, no. That's Cashel, that's Zero, or so let's do this in order. That's Cashel, that's Rax, and that's Zero in order. However, you can do this solo. That is something they added. I don't even know if I can pull up the menu right now to show you it. Nope. But there is an option. It's slow. There's various things that make it slow. However, it is a doable thing. Oh, I should have... Don't let me forget to test the next dungeon. That's actually an important thing I need to look into. Because this is an MSQ dungeon, and I should have checked if I could have trusted for this, or if I had to grind for this. This is an 80 dungeon. See, that's what I'm thinking, Snowmans. But I should test that to be thorough and do my due diligence. Oh, it's a remix. I'm still working on it. I have a new idea, I just haven't had time to really show it off on camera yet. I like this mix. I like a lot of the music in this game. Then again, I really love the Alexander music, so I think my musical tastes are in question here. Cooldowns, too, while we're on the subject. But we're almost done. Not that one. Not the forward and back. That's not the one I was referencing. We just did it earlier today. We got it for our normal raid. Anybody who was there, tell me what that song was. Yeah, Metal. If you look up FF14, Alexander, Metal. I actually really like that song. I like Locust, too. I remember that one. That's a good one. Oh, yeah, and Brute Justice, which I think is... That's Alexander Prime, right? Because that's a good one, too. Rise is Alexander Prime. You're right, because he actually says that during the dialogue. I think I've still heard Brute Justice. Either way, the point is that I like most of the Alexander songs. The only exception is forward and back and forward and back and forward and back and take one step forward. I'm not a big fan of that song, believe it or not. Casual, could you stop dying there, please? Jesus. Making me hit real buttons. Not cool. It's trash. And then Rax gets hit for a bunch of... Thanks, Rax. Thanks. Appreciate it. Honestly, Snowmans, I'm not sure it doesn't do that as is. Isn't that just how the song actually is? Just forwards, back. Ochu in other FFs? Yeah, those go back to like FF1, Alex. I don't think they were called that, but yeah. It was 1, 2, or 3, but I remember them in 8-bit format, so forgive me for not knowing that off the top of my head. Trying to get a look around to see every now and again here. I do love the violet accents all over the place. Oh god. So I just realized Cashel's a paladin, the class I keep bashing. As far as tanks go. It's okay, Cashel. It's not you, it's your class. I'm not classist, I swear. Spell, because I feel like they changed it on me. No? It's working how it should be. Alright, whatever. Oh god! Now we have to fight all the Sith. Vine lady. Except her vines are her wings? That's kind of cool. Have some buffs. Just in case. It was one. I thought so, Alex. Thank you for checking, though, because that was going to bug me. Oh my god, I forgot to pass on loot. It's okay, I'm not the only one who didn't pass on loot. It's not just me, guys. It's okay. Yep, nope, I'm going to keep going for it. So I'm going to have to accordance it then, Mr. Red. There's actually several 14 songs I'd like to accordance, I just haven't had time to. Come on. There you go. I bet Remedy's Exion. Occasionally I could pick up on mechanics without having to have them explained to me in this game, because usually this game does really good tutorialization of mechanics. There's only a couple of exceptions to that. It's mostly the early stuff, you know, like the ARR stuff, and the occasional fight, like the near stuff, where, you know, you kind of have to know what you're doing. But for the most part, you can just look at it like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do this. That's true. The X-Death thing is a good example of that. Heal game here with Cashel. Look, this place needs to stay clean, okay, Alex? You gonna kill these things, guys? Come on, where's your deeps? I call you out, but recount's banned, which means I can't be a dick to you in chat. Because that's how that works. That's such a dumb reason. Is that the reason? Or is it just a, you know, we don't want people messing with the code reason? Because that could, I can see that one being a reason. I don't agree with it, but I can see it. They don't want people to blame. Okay, so it is the first reason. That's what I thought. It's such a dumb reason. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, third-party apps being banned at least makes a little bit of sense. I may still disagree, but that's okay. My argument, by the way, since I feel the need to make it, is people who are going to be dicks regardless. That's the thrust of the argument. That's really all there is to it. I would much rather have access to the tool, because, honestly, I don't give a damn what DPS other people are doing. I know. I'm the exception there, I get that. But it would be really nice to tell, how am I doing? Right? Am I doing well? I want to try a slightly different rotation. Has this improved? You know, stuff like that. And it's hard to tell that when, you know... Well, I am streaming, Rax. Yes, we hit the MSQ, Omega Legion. Good morning. Listen, I definitely don't already have it installed, Rax. I'm just streaming. You know, I've seen the same thing in other MMOs, Remedies Exion. The upper crust tend to be either completely cool or total assholes. And there's not a lot of in-between. I've seen that in AC, I've seen that in EverQuest, I've seen that in Ultima Online, I've seen that in WoW, Guild Wars 2, 4. No, I didn't get burnt out on Halo. I would have been fine with playing Halo 5 if it was physically possible to do so, which obviously it was not. It was actually kind of refreshing smashing out a game per day. Nice little break for me. May or may not notice that this game and the next several games we're doing are all nice, big, long games. Just kind of shove those out of the way, so when we get back to the rest of the list, it's mostly going to be medium and short games. So that'll be fun. You have sullied these halls long enough. Come, Lugus, our guests, who yet want for company. Suikoden 5 is quite long, yes. That's probably going to be a week-long game. We might not finish it before we actually get to Cyberpunk. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's more the code reason than the don't be dicks reason, Mr. Red. My opinion. Have some buffs. Oh, I'm dead. Sorry, I was looking at Richard Cove's comment. I don't know. Over time, having played MMOs for a few decades at this point, I think it's just what it is, you know? I think some people are just more inclined to be dicks, and I think it's just going to be down to personal perspective as to the percentage of said dicks we're going to see. Or if I could say this another way, it's my opinion that WoW doesn't have more dicks because they have recount. They have more dicks because they have more players. That is, of course, just my opinion, though. I don't have any evidence of that. Call that a sample size theory. One thing that is nice about Paladins, they just straight up have us heal. There's not a lot of it, and they can't do it much, but they do just have straight up a heal. That's true, Remedy's Exion, but that's a consequence thing, like you referenced earlier. Now, Guild Wars 2, that's an interesting example. Because Guild Wars 2 has had dicks, but at the same time, it tends to not have as many. Probably because the mechanics of Guild Wars 2 are literally designed around sharing, for lack of a better way to put it. Like, credit shares, resurrection gives you credit, healing gives you credit, etc. Like, you are encouraged via gameplay mechanics to actually assist other players in Guild Wars 2. I mean, that is sample size theory in a nutshell, Alex. I'll go ahead and talk this out since I don't have much else to do right now. The idea behind sample size theory, and I call it a theory because it is a theory, I have no evidence of this, is that X% of people are going to be a dick. Period. So, if you have a crowd of 100 people, then one person's going to be a dick and you don't really notice it. But if you have 100,000 people, then you have 1,000 dicks, and it's just like, oh my god, I can't. This game is so terrible, right? Or this conference is so terrible, or this concert, or whatever. You get the idea. And thus you have that issue of it's the same percent, but it seems more because that's what you're because there's literally more of them, even though percentage-wise it's not more. So, I don't know. Like I said, this is pure theory, really. And yeah, I would actually agree with another thing. I've noticed, especially lately, casual interactions with players tend to be legit in every MMO I've played. It's when you get into the higher end stuff that you start to run into problems. It's actually one of, like, 6 reasons why I walked away from higher end stuff in every MMO I play, or have played. Yes, I earned that victory. Totally! Earned it. So yes, that is the benefit of Paladin. Really, really boring to play, but pretty useful. Good job, guys, by the way. No, I do not, Corwellis.
That was my fiercest familiar. Oh, impressive.
Backlook, 'tis good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say the feeling is mutual. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Shake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge on the matter. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence!
Am I gonna have to kill... Well, are my 3 friends gonna have to kill you again? Guys, could you kill him again, please? Real quick, by the way. Again, not to bash Paladin. You'll notice Paladin, before I started setting up for this run, was my 2nd highest level class. 73. I point that out because the reason I pushed Paladin so far and so hard is it's probably the best utility class in the entire game, in my opinion. And what we just did is a good example, or what they just did is a good example of what I'm talking about. It has a lot of utility.
It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men. You are sinners, one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Numo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to heal.
Why are they doing this to this poor gentleman? And or lady. Like, they gotta be doing it on purpose, right?
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I could listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I mustn't. Not again. That damn court mage seemed to have the best of intentions too, and countless innocents died for my naivety. Oh, you know not what you ask of me, what horrors my knowledge has wrought. You know of the plague? Then you know how dangerous soulcraft can be. Instead of saving your friends, you risk damning them. Are you sure you're willing to take that chance?
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure we saw this, but yeah, it's because we did the gunbreaker stuff, or the tank stuff, rather.
No. No.
Yeah, as soon as they mentioned court mage, it was pretty obvious.
Oh, very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
I mean, on the plus side, we know they're actually pretty good with soulcraft, since we've more or less already seen the results of their craft. Whoops. For the record, I wish we hadn't had to resort to using such words when treating with them. I have ever sought to convince, not compel, but I cannot deny that part of me is glad Urianger shared his knowledge of the Numo with us. Had he not, Beg Luke wouldn't be here. Speaking of... Can I stop it? Speaking of whom, we should hurry. Keep our guest waiting would only add insult to injury. We may now enter Grand Cosmos as a party. Unlocked trust that I will probably never do. We mustn't tarry any longer. We must go. 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 No. There we go. So that's not the right gun on my back. I mean, blade on my back. I mean... You're a gun, you're a blade, you're a gun, you're a blade. Well, we're a Star Destroyer, Carwellis. Unlike Melkor Blade, who is a blade made of Melkor. I'm not sure how that works, but, you know.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing,
but also that Melkor Blade put it towards Trails in the Sky, too. Yes, that is absolutely true. Thank you, Melkor Blade, as always.
but that you hail from another world as well?
Everything we told you, of the source, the shards, the 7 umbral calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastical it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time and I would have dismissed your stories as balderdash and flummery. But upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies. Save you. Your body is your own, and your soul is the densest of them all.
I mean...
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Norvrant would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of 4-3 and the Sin Eaters.
Sorry, we are 64% of a person here. Yes, that's right, we are a Nintendo 64.
After all they have done for our home, seeing them safely back to their own, it seems the very least we can do.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it is fitting payment in itself. As for your friends, I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Norvrant are deserving of recognition. of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will. I would see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Numo I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
Just point me to the boars. And bears, and whatever else. Zebras? I got zebras. You need zebra hooves? Troll ears?
It would be our pleasure. We'll be laboring for our own benefit after all.
Oh, God. Alright, hang on. Let's get some pages from Stranglethorn. Do you happen to notice the magic brooms? Uncanny. Yeah, I did. He has a fine eye, though. They have a fine eye, though we've yet to begin. I rather think the excerpt was right to call on them. I sometimes regret we're not truly in the first. It'll be good to be whole again. Fortunately for us, they're of a mind to see you and your scions justly contemplated for your efforts. You've spun quite a tale, but tell me, have you given thought as how you might return to your world? I mean, considering how this works, Cashel, that would make perfect sense if this is, whatever this world's is Matoya equivalent. White Auracite, intriguing proposition, but one which fails to account for the present state of your souls. They've become highly charged, likely as a consequence of having maintained intangible form for so long. In such energetic, unstable state, there's no telling what might happen to their souls within the Auracite. They could very well become immutable to transference, never to be restored to their bodies. Then would it be possible to force our souls into a state of dormancy prior to transference? In theory, yes, but the soul's not a candle to be snuffed out and relit on a whim. Well, that sounds ominous. What exactly would rendering our souls dormant entail? In order to maintain a corporeal form, your souls constantly draw ether from your surroundings. This process must be halted and the resulting surfeit of ether removed. Your minds would be ultimately separated from these faux bodies of yours, rendering you incapable of interacting with the world around you. A cruel fate under normal circumstances, but one which will be rectified upon your return home. Leaving lifeless husks like those poor souls at the inn at Journey's Head, corrupted by sin eaters, their ether made stagnant by light. Corrupted? Stagnant? Might I see these unfortunate individuals? Why, do you think you could help them? I might, or might not, but I won't know until I've seen them. And then I would gladly take you to them, or on the understanding you won't do anything which would increase their suffering. It was my faith in man I lost, not my compassion. See, dog is man's best friend. I see no need for all of us to accompany you. While you escort our guest to the inn, I will assist Urianger in creating the requisite Auracite. I believe my talents will be better applied to this endeavor as well. Might I leave the three of you to assist them as necessary? Let's make for Am-Irang, then. I thought of an analogy to explain the sharding. It makes perfect sense in my head, but to try and explain it to someone else. Imagine if you have a picture in front of you, and you explain it with words. You know, you can't show it to anyone, right? So I've got this picture here, and I explain this to all of you, and then all of you write your own version of this picture. So obviously there's going to be similarities and variances, and you're going to see how the same general thing is there, but if you're paying attention, if you actually compare like Rax's picture with Carwelis's picture, you'll notice they are different pictures. That's the way I try to describe this. Like I said, it makes perfect sense in my head, but I have no idea how to get it out. Pains me that there are those who yet suffer despite our victory over the light. We must hope a way can be found to help both them and our friends. Urianger is more than capable of creating an Auracite on his own, but if aught should go awry, I would be on hand to assist him. Very true, Casual. So this is Halric, yes? His etheric balance leans perilously towards the light, towards stasis. What do you suppose will happen to him? Not too bright, are you? The same as all poor souls corrupt to the light. He'll become a Sin Eater. We don't know that. We've defeated the Wardens, banished the light from the night sky. Halric was completely unresponsive before, but now Colin Palooza has shown up to give me $1. But he hasn't said which game he's putting it towards. Just a Lego game. I don't know if Colin Palooza is aware of this, but there's actually a lot of Lego games. Wait, he means all of them, doesn't he? Oh my god, guys, we have to play every Lego game now. Perhaps there is yet hope. If I may, there's a treatment I wish to administer to the patients. What sort of treatment? In the course of my studies of the soul, I once created a tonic which could be temporarily stimulate the ether in one's body. After refinement, it could be used by the Knights of Vauburn. Then for darker purposes. Lest it fall into the wrong hands, I swore never to make it again, but for their sake I will break that oath. Crack. It's not like to reverse the stagnation, but it should offer some measure of relief. No effect. I should mention, by the way, that I have my own theories about the Asians, but those are still the realm of theory. There's still some... For me, at the point where I'm at in the story, there's still things to speculate on, because there's still open holes there. I'm speaking very vaguely, because obviously I don't even want to prompt you guys to be like, oh, well, it's such and such. Because if the Halo run taught me anything, you guys love to spoil for me. So we're for 2 out of 3. That's terrible success rate, but it's better than it could be. It's a D. Now then, notice any changes? A notable rise in body temperature and increased motor function, in most of the patients at least. The more severely afflicted show no response. As I feared then. 'Tis true that with the restoration of night, the corrupted influence of light will no longer grow, and their bodies will naturally return to equilibrium given time. But this holds true only for the corporeal ether. Their incorporeal ether, that of the soul, is not so easily mended. Which is why those in the later stages of corruption, like Halric, appear unaffected. Aha! You got it, Colin Palooza. And thank you again, by the way, for the bits, as always. The body's soul is too far gone, his mind held together by the finest of threads. There's a chance he may one day recover, but it would take years, decades even. The gods, he could wait to find himself an old man. A fine reward for his persistence, the opportunity to mourn the life he never had a chance to live. No, there must be something we can do. Look, I realize this is not why we petitioned your aid, but do you think it's possible we could find a way to hasten the recovery? Maybe. Nor do I think it impossible that in treating them we might learn something of relevance to your own predicament. Yes, is the short answer to your question, Colin Palooza. Yes, good stuff be here, yo. I was just thinking about that, Valvatrix. I suspect the Crystal Exarch has told you of my past. I was once a mage at the court. The tonic you administer to the patients is one of the fruits of my labors. I hope to do great things for the kingdom. But in the end, the knowledge only brought suffering, a plague the likes of which none had ever seen. In the hands of unscrupulous men, what could have been my greatest triumph instead became my greatest shame. again reference the quest. I shudder to think what might have happened if they had not. Let us return to the task at hand, finding a means by which we might revitalize these people's incorporeal ether. You think it can be done? Where the sky is still ablaze with primordial light, I would call it an exercise in futility, but now we may have a chance. Next expansion isn't coming for months, Colin Paluzzo. Also, it's convenient to do it now. It was already kind of funded, and, well, put bluntly, the idea, this is part of the Shadowbringers run, which is effectively ending, or, excuse me, has effectively ended as of now. The only thing left is 2 patches, which we would only be doing parts of the content anyways, since most of that content would actually be baked into the next expansion's run. So, the method I have in mind will entail the conjuring of a familiar. They're able to amplify the energies poured into them, making them the perfect conduit for ether-revitalizing magics that we will ultimately employ. If you're about to launch into a lengthy explanation of the metaphysics of your plan, don't bother. I'd rather get on with it. Whatever reagents must be produced, spells invoked, I'll do it. I admire your spirit. Very well, your first task is to gather materials. Magic, lantern. If you're convinced, fine. Alpha, no. The water and clay will be simple enough, but I think you know what we need to do to get the lantern. You don't mean... The pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them with our company, I'm sure you'll be willing to help us. Fine, I'll pay a visit to Ilmeg. But I never thought you would be the one to suggest going back there. I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Fey folk. You're welcome. Oh, while you're about it, seek out the Numo of Plan Nani. They will be able to supply you with water suitable for our needs. There still remains the matter of the clay. Alright, tell me where I need to fabricate a claim on. So I'm sorry, Pillars of Snow, I don't quite understand your question, so allow me to clarify. All of the content that is currently in the game as part of Shadowbringers is something we intend to do for this run. There are 2 things that might not happen, and that's just feasibility, but the intent is to do all of it. The next patch is not part of that. The patch after that is not part of it either. Does that make sense? Clay from Amarang. Bless the miners at Twine. I mean, God, we've done so many things, Carwellis, at this point. The near raids, I ended up giving 2 positives to gameplay. I really wanted to give a story negative, but I couldn't in good conscience, and I was talked down from it in any case, so... But the story didn't get any pluses. It was... Every plus you were seeing is, technically, for FF14. It's just as per the way we are reviewing MMOs at this point in time. All of these pluses are currently for the expansion we are currently reviewing, similar to how when we reviewed Tor, those pluses and minuses were for all of Tor, but only the sliver we had played, which was the Sith Warrior. If you'll notice on the document, I have specifically started labeling things Shadow for things that are specific to this expansion, and unlabeled for things that are across the entire game. This is generally our approach for MMOs going forward. Like I said, I don't know if you were there for this, Lord Harriman. I'm sorry if I actually don't remember. But the main point of doing the Tor Sith Warrior run was a feasibility test for reviewing MMOs. And because I'd been processing and thinking about a way to do that for a while up till that run. And that was the proof of concept. It worked quite well. So this is how we do it going forward. This is why now, WoW, the rest of FF14, and the rest of Tor are all on the books for future reviews. Thor, what's up? You've come at a good time. We've just, this moment, finished repairing the Talos and trolley you took to... Bleh. The trolley was no trouble, but the Talos would have been another matter, had we not had a visit from Master Chai. He offered us to share the leftover building material from Daedalus Stoneworks, as well as a few trade secrets. Clever man, that Chai knows. He seemed pretty keen on the ideas I had for putting the giant talus to work. Like a giant trolley. But Magnus still refuses to see all the good we could do with it. No, you're fine, Lord Harriman. And you're right, we've been answering the same questions a bunch, but it's okay. This is technically only our second stream of this variety, so this is still kind of a new concept. You're entitled to your dreams, Jarek, but that doesn't mean you can go harassing our guest with them. Master Chai was just being polite. Something tells me Lore here didn't come all this way to talk about trolleys. What is it you need, my friend? Trolley? I see, and this familiar Claire from Amarang. Ah, I see what you're asking, Pillars of Snow. The problem is, to my knowledge, those aren't replayable. So, yes, but we're not doing that now because I can't. Sense make? Look no further if anyone can find you some quality clay. They are replayable now? Alright, I think I need to... Where do I access the New Game Plus thing? Let's just... Hang on, let's just skip through this. Where's the New Game Plus thing? So it's not a menu. Got it. Alright, one moment. Lore's a little irritable right now, so forgive him. Someone hit the stream brakes. I'm just gonna mute myself for this. Screw it, I'll look it up online. Okay, got it. I know what I needed to know. That's gonna be irritating. That's actually legitimately really irritating. So, allow me to talk this all out loud. I was under the presumption New Game Plus was still being rolled out. In fact, someone said that yesterday, that New Game Plus was still being rolled out. So I've been laboring under the presumption that it wasn't available to New Game Plus, the 4.4 and 4.5 crap. Apparently it is. This is news to me. So, we are going to stop the MSQ now, and rewind time to beginning of that. Why? Well, some of you probably don't remember this, but when we actually started streaming Shadowbringers, it was kind of a unique thing because for various reasons, which I don't feel like covering right now, we had to actually jump into Shadowbringers for a little bit in order to get ready for the stream, which then meant I had to go back and replay the cutscenes from the inn in order to, well, on stream in order to get people caught up to that, and blah, 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 blah. The long and the short of it is, the actual Shadowbringers stream didn't actually start until we were already into Shadowbringers. Which means I have never streamed 4.4 or 4.5, even though I thought I might have, and indeed I actually thought I had, but that's neither here nor there. So, where do I do this again? Other than saying thank you, Colin Bluso. Very, very much. I will also put that towards Lego. I'm sorry, you just said it. Western yada yada. Got it. That's the wrong world. Oh my god. You know what? Fine, hang on. We'll do it this way. For future consideration, it is worth asking, how many times can I do this? Is this FF4 or Chrono Trigger? There it is. Hate this run. It's a little quicker this time. That's nice. Meanwhile, a year and a half ago, nothing like staring out at the sea to bring an old man back to his glory days. The good old times when his whole life was still ahead of him and the greatest adventures were yet to be. Don't you know better than to sneak up on your elders like that, young'un? This man is totally Xehanort. He's like he doesn't have the eyes, but that man is totally Xehanort. You trying to send me to an early grave? Well, not early as such. No, Cashel. But I am replaying the lead-up into Shadowbringers, and counting that as part of the Shadowbringers run, which is, once again, going to be part of that, so, yeah. Don't tell... Because apparently we weren't going to finish it today anyways, Wilbobagan, because there's so much left in the current patch, so screw it. Let's just do it in order. I would have done this right at the beginning if I'd known it was available. Sounds horrible, Carwellis. What happens? Do I think New Game Plus should be only available after finishing the story whenever you want? Whenever you want. Diablo 3. I think that if you're playing through the game and you get to this point, you should have the option to go back here. Or go back here. Or go back here. I used to New Game Plus in Chrono Trigger just to level. You know, just for fun. Anyways. He might not have been Greybeard I am, but I reckon you've got a memory too you'd be keen on remembering. Let's say you joined me on New Game Plus. You now have access to New Game Plus. It allows you to relive, yada yada yada. Open this interface. Please note that special rules and conditions apply, yada yada yada. I've just been shot. New Game Plus. Okay. So there's raid quests. What the heck is that one? Trials. Hildebrand is on here. There's the Gladiator and the Marauder quests. Oh yeah, because yeah, this is stuff that they are nowhere on, is the class stuff. Look at that. Nowhere on the class stuff. Hold on. One of these days I need to do Thok Extreme. Just to get this out of my log. That's all I care about, is just getting this out of my log. And consequently Bismarck Extreme. But anyways. Stormblood Part 4. Boop. I mean, I'm down for just smashing them. Just to crush them and then vent a little bit, because this has just been a day of irritation. Speaking of which, I will actually be right back. I know. Give me just a moment, please. You know what? Yeah, sure. Let's do Ravana right now. Let's do it. Ravana EX. Let's smash him. Let's just vent a little bit, and then we'll give some positives. Let's do it. In the face. No. Magister. I mean, it might be daylight savings time, if that's what you're thinking it is, but my stream time has not changed. Damn it, Silver Mask. Oh, it's not gonna drop. And I don't care. I'd rather someone else get it. Someone wants it. Now, the barding from Ravana is the one that I want for my Chocobo someday, but that's never happening. Thank you for the donation, Silver Mask. I will put that towards Valiant Hearts. I mean, I don't really care, Omega Legion. It's just on the extremely rare occasion when I actually have my Chocobo out, that's the barding I want.
Dance to the song of a ringing steel! Furious as a blaze! Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man.
God, how long have I had this quest in my log? I think I've had it since Evansward. How's that look? That's not too shabby, but I'm pretty attached to Gunbreaker, so pass. Bismarck. Bismarck's the other one. So, to understand the New Game Plus mechanic here, just to make sure I'm on the right page here. So, I'm in the middle of the stuff we'll be doing, right? But if I'm like, you know what, hang on, I could just jump into the window, hit pause, and then switch to another one of the brackets, and that's where I'm at, right? Like, it moves me to that bracket. Or it moves me to that bundle, however you want to call that. Okay. That's pretty cool. Second question. Let's say I finish a bundle. Does it then finish that bundle and revert me to where I really am, or continue down the line, and then and then I just continue down the line? Dude, anyone want some whale blubber? Okay, so it'll continue from where you stop it. So I will have to manually discontinue it at a certain point. Which is fine. Again, I'm trying to understand the mechanics of this. I can't remember. Is EX different? I mean, of course it is, but, you know. Okay, so that's what I was asking, Belvedrix. That's actually fine, and indeed, that sounds awesome to me. Here, boy. I want every cooldown. Okay, that was funny. Mechanic done. Remedy's Axial. Bismarck? There you are. What's up, buddy? You, Free Willy. So how are things going, guys? Phase 2. You can tell it's always Phase 2 when the music changes. Are we... No? It wouldn't surprise me, Mr. Red. Well, certainly not at this point. Remember... they have it is very easy for them to import models and bosses from Dissidia. Vraska's final Aeon, technically, is in Dissidia, so they have the option to do that. I know that is pulling it technically, but still. They can pull it from a bunch of games, too. Yeah, as I say, FF6, they have gone full hog on FF6. Not that I'm complaining. Quite a few bosses from 5. Not a lot of bosses from 4, but there are several there. A lot of enemies from 13 are in this game. Like, a lot. It's weird. I mean, the Four Fiends of Elements could be awesome fights in 14, I'm just saying. Yep, guys. We've killed Corona. We're good. Okay, that was a nice stress relief. Thank you for that. Where do I turn those in? I'll do that later. I'll do that off camera. Alright, so now we're doing this quest, I think? No. Shoot, where am I? How do I... I have to go back to New Game Plus? But I was just... Okay. No. Actually, no. I'm gonna do the unthinkable, guys. I'm gonna chop off early. I apologize for that, but given the time, given the schedule, given the circumstance, I think I'm just gonna chop it here. Tomorrow, we will go ahead and start with the Stormbringer stuff. And, get that stuff done, and show that on camera. Maybe get that done, because that's 2 full patches of content, so that's gonna be of it, and there's gonna be at least 2 dungeons in that, including Gimlet. No, I am half an hour early. I stream until 8, usually, Velvetrix. Either way, I do hope you've been enjoying so far. Oh, actually, real quick. Proper New Game Plus is always a plus. And based on how that's designed, I'm willing to give that the second New Game Plus. Now, so I'm sorry to talk this out now at the very end of the video, but... this hasn't come up yet, because we haven't reviewed a game that does really amazing New Game Plus yet. But this qualifies. The only other game I can think of that does this is Diablo 3, which will also get multiple positives for New Game Plus. For the ability to not just be like, Kwong, and charge through, and okay, you can't see it now, of course, but like, the ability to select a specific spot, right? Or to start over, or whatever. That is awesome. Apparently you still get level synced, so that sucks. So I'm going to italics that second plus now. So hang on, we're going to take away that plus. And we'll decide that later. But we will at the very least give the initial New Game Plus, because that is definitely good New Game Plus, regardless. And we'll debate the other one tomorrow. So, I do hope you guys have enjoyed, for real this time. I'll see you next time.